How you doing? I'm getting my privacy setting straight. Done. Say, I want to welcome you to another episode of the Warzone and tell you thank you for taking the time out to tune in to me because without you, I would not have a show. And tonight, we want to talk about a few things that are near and dear to my heart. All right. I want to say top of the evening to all of y'all in case you don't know who I am. I'm the guy they call the 5-star general. I fight battles against school districts every single day. Not a day goes by, not even a spring break day goes by, where I'm not fighting these battles. Tonight, I want to talk directly to poor people. I want to talk about what I call poverty pimps. These are the people that make millions off of the demise of poor people. They make millions off the demise of poor people. And some of these poverty pimps are inside of our school system, our educational component. And one of those is the American Federation of Teachers. The American Federation of Teachers. Let's talk about them for a second. And I want you to talk, tag a friend, tag a teacher. The American Federation of Teachers, an affiliate of the AFL-CIO, was founded in 1916 and today represents 1.7 million members in over 3,000 local affiliates nationwide. 5 divisions within AFT represent the board spectrum of the AFT membership: pre-K through 12, grade teachers, paraprofessionals, and other school-related personnel, higher education facility and professional staff, federal, state, and local government employees, and nurses and other healthcare professionals. In addition, the American Federation of Teachers represents approximately 80,000 early childhood educators and nearly 250,000 retiree members. AFT is governed by its elected officers and by delegates to the union's biennial convention, which sets union policies. Elected leaders are President Randy Weingarten, Secretary Treasurer Frederick Ingram, and Executive Vice President Evelyn whatever, along with a 43-member executive council. I can read, but I'm DeJesus or something like that. Many well-known Americans have been AFT members, including John Dewey, Albert Einstein, Herbert Humphreys, Pulitzer Prize winner Arthur Mark McCourt, Nobel Peace Prize winner Elie Wiesel, former Senate Majority Leader and Ambassador to Japan Mike Mansfield, former Health and Human Services Secretary Donna Shalala, and former United Nations Undersecretary and Nobel Peace Prize winner Ralph Bush. But in the American Federation of Teachers, there's an elephant in the room. And her name is Randy Weingarten, and she's the president of the American Federation of Teachers. I don't care what they claim, man. I'm going to tell the truth. Let me tell y'all something about the truth. I don't have to clarify myself to these union people. You know why? Because when my light bill come, the union don't pay it. Hold on a sec. What I want to do is I want to clarify something. Is I don't bow to anybody. God is my protector. And the truth is not what a lot of people want to hear. The truth is what it is. It may not be what we want to hear, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So the thing is, first of all, when I ran for school board, ain't no union endorsed me. But I was told the first time I ran that I had the best screening in the history of the AFL-CIO. But they had to get somebody in there that they could possibly control. Now, what I do is I fight every day for the rights of teachers, and I represented several teachers that were HFT members, Houston Federation of Teachers members. And the reason that I had to represent them is because they paying $600 a year and they had a problem. And when they called over there to the union office, nobody picked up the phone. Nobody calls them back. All they tried to get them to do was resign when some of these people had not done anything wrong. So the one thing that I don't have to do is clarify anything to somebody that don't give a damn about teachers. Let's get that straight. They are worst, especially the Houston Federation of Teachers. As long as you are in the right clique, some days you can get some shit done. But when you ain't with the right people, they just string you along. I have represented tons of HFT members who were paying their dues. It comes straight out of their check. But yet at the same time, they had to come to me because the union that they pay the money to wasn't there for them. Now back to what I was saying about these poverty pimps called the American Federation of Teachers. A poverty pimp is somebody that takes advantage of the disadvantage. They make tons of money off them. But at the same time, they really don't care nothing about them. I saw today something profound. And I want to put it on my screen. So bear with me for a second. Let me get it on my screen. And then I'll go into it. Let's share a screen. And let's go here. And now let's share this because I want to open it up. And I want to listen to this. And I want to tell you why I have a problem with this. Let's listen to the Texas American Federation of Teachers President Sep Capel.
Texas has had a spirit in support of public education for hundreds of years, and we're damn not going back now. I think it's pretty perfect, though, that we're both here today, because the legislature has really just one school choice this session. It is going to choose to fund real public schools that take all students and fund them to levels that help kids thrive, not just survive. Or it's going to choose to fund wealthy Texans and private school donors through a voucher scheme. Now, I don't know about you, but when I heard the governor and others talk about we're going to fully fund public schools and vouchers at the same time, I said, how the hell can he fix his mouth to say that? I've never heard such a lie. Just ask any educator out here who still spends, on average, $500 a year to fund your classroom with paper and pencils that students don't have. If we're fully funded, you wouldn't be taking that out of your own pocket. If we were fully funded, we would not be losing teachers left and right. If we provided the supports necessary, we wouldn't lose 50% of our new teachers every single year. They can do one or the other, ladies and gentlemen, but they cannot do both. We can give teachers a $10,000 or $15,000 raise, or we can have school vouchers. We can give support staff a 15% or a 25% raise, or we can have school vouchers. We can make sure our kids have a nurse, a counselor, a social worker, a psychologist on every campus, or we can have school vouchers. We can make sure you don't have a class of 30 in any grade, or we can have school vouchers. We can give our retired teachers their first raise since 2004, or we can have school vouchers. Doesn't seem like a tough choice, does it? Well, you're about to hear from a whole bunch of people who will make it even clearer in a moment. This is Women's History Month. So I'm going to channel one of the most incredible women I've ever known, Linda Bridges, who held this job before me. When people asked Linda why she and Texas AFT were at the Capitol every day, even as lawmakers were cutting education budgets, she had a single clear answer. And I'm going to give you the same one for why we're here today. Because our kids deserve it, and so do we. We're here to make our voices heard. So before I hand over the mic, I want you to make yourselves heard loud and clear. So loud they can hear you across the street. So when I yell respect, you yell us. When I yell reject, you yell vouchers. Are you ready? Yes. All right. Respect. Us. Reject. Vouchers. Respect. Us. Reject. Vouchers.
Hell of a speech. Hell of a speech by Sep Capo, the president of Texas AFT. One of the most racist SOBs I've ever ran into in my life. Sue me. You have enough documentation with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission that can back up exactly what I said. One of the most conniving and underhanded people that I have ever met in my life. Who told me that I had the best screening in the history of the AFL-CIO the first time I ran for school board? Sep Capo. What that tell you? I didn't get their endorsement. That means I was better than my opponent and everybody else that had ever screened with them for the school board. Am I angry about that? Hell no. That doesn't bother me at all. Doesn't bother me. But what bothers me is he cares so much about public education. Well, Sep, did you forget to tell the people that when our 11 schools were on the chopping block back in 2018, that you had a few friends from up north that ran charter schools that you were trying to get down here to take our 11 schools? But this the man that you trust to stand in front of you and to battle, supposedly, for your well-being. He's a poverty pimp. He is a poverty pimp. I said that Sep Capo and his friends were conniving, were doing underhanded things to try and get 11 of our schools that were in trouble to give to his friends to become charter schools. But you care about public education. When you teachers were going through what you were going through in the pandemic, and you were struggling to pay your bills, and they were going back and forth with you with these school districts all over the country, and you were a member of Texas AFT or AFT in general, the president of AFT, Randy Weingartner, was pulling in a salary of $461 Well, $416,000 a year. 416,000. See, they need public education to not to take any bumps or hiccups. You know why? Because they're going to say, oh, you need a raise, you need this. And you do. But did you have a clue that every time you get a raise, your union dues go up? They automatically go up. So the more money you make, the more they can pull out your check. And they get to live very, very comfortable. I remember when Capo first was appointed to the presidency of Texas AFT. For over a year, he did not relinquish his position as president of HFT, the Houston Federation of Teachers. So he was drawing a salary from HFT and the Texas level of AFT. He was getting 2 times his salary while you had to work an extra job. Now, you tell me if that's not a poverty pimp. Making money off the demise of poor people. Now, does the American Federation of Teachers and the AFL-CIO, do they have the stroke that they say they have? I question that. Because you don't seem like you get nothing done. You seem like you at the Capitol every 2 years and you doing what you're doing. But at the end of the day, you can't seem to move the needle. So maybe your organization is not as good as you say, or maybe the representation of your organization is suspect. But either way, teachers are getting the short end of the stick. And the people that's supposed to be battling for them are behind the scenes cutting side deals. But they want to tell you that everything's bad. Now, they're trying to save public education in the city of Houston. Is that what they say they're doing? Well, in 2015, I was in the educational committee when HFT, the Houston Federation of Teachers, spoke in favor of 1842 and 1882. The bills that they say are crippling education in Houston. You spoke in favor of it in its own record. So who you working for, man? Are you working for the teachers? Or are you really working for the governor? Either way, you're getting rich. And teachers are coming out of their pockets to fund their classrooms. HFT knows about the debacle in Houston, ISD, known as Superintendent Millard House, but yet they do nothing to protect their teachers. HFT knows about the mistreatment of teachers by administrators, but yet they do nothing to protect their teachers. HFT knows about the flawed evaluation system at the end of the year that costs good teachers their jobs in the Houston Independent School District, but yet they do nothing to protect their teachers. And the whole year, you are paying them $600, and then when you have a problem, you got to call me. Poverty pimps is what I call them. I'm not anti-union. I'm anti-bullshit. I can tell you that. I know a scam when I see one. How do you represent so many teachers in Houston, and yet you got an office of 3 you got a skeleton crew in your office to deal with it? These people are not protected by any means. But all you get is a bunch of money, and you don't show any work for your money. Explain that to me. So what part of that, if you're a teacher right now, have I gotten wrong? Or did I just tell you the truth because it ain't what some people want to hear? Explain that to me. I've represented teachers. I've saved teachers' jobs. One lady was being done so bad last year, it was unreal. She was about to pull her hair out. And Gary Monroe saved her job. I got her out of there, and now she's thriving in another school district. But HFT didn't do anything to help her. How many of y'all out there has this happened to? I want you to lean over and touch your neighbor. Since Sep can preach a sermon, I can too. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, HFT is full of shit. Let me tell you about them and the union with the games that they play. I said it before, and I'm finna say it again. When that black woman was the interim superintendent of the Houston Independent School District, Dr. Grenita Lathan, and I did not see eye to eye with her on everything. You have two sets of unions. You got the bus driver custodial union, food workers, ran by Retha Thomas, and you have HFT. Now, Jackie Anderson is a woman of high character. She runs HFT right now. She's always cordial. You know, I may not agree with her on everything, but we've never had words. But let's talk about Retha and Sep. Retha runs the bus driver, custodian, and food service union, and Sep was running HFT. Why did I bring up Lathan? You remember when y'all was sending me to them condos in Galveston? Remember you wanted me to flip on Lathan? You wanted me to provide you information so you could undermine her? I had it, but I never gave it to you. I just took the free trips and ate your fucking food. These the people that you trusted. I took the trips to the condos and had me a ball and never gave you jack shit. But I'd have to find the phone. I still got the texts in the phone. And when confronted by those texts, when I went through the issues of suing the school district, Ms. Thomas said that my texts were manufactured. That I manufactured my texts. Well, here's the problem when she said it. I didn't have screenshots of them. I had the actual texts. So how I'm going to manufacture that? That was you texting me to set Lathan up. I know it sounds elaborate, but it's the truth. But it's the truth. But see, why would you set her up when you ain't doing what you're supposed to do for the teachers? You couldn't punk her. That was your problem. You couldn't get her to do what you wanted her to do. That was your problem. And then on top of that, Sep, you and your partners from the north, up north, was scheming on taking our 11 schools. Say, when the last time I lied to y'all, man? When the last time I lied to y'all? I don't have to. And you notice something, and any one of them you want to do it, do it. If you feel like I'm defaming, you sue me. I'd love to go in that courtroom and gut you. I'd love to go in there and make you look like the sucker that you are. Any one of y'all. I got more than enough proof. And you know why they don't sue me? Because they know I got it. They know I got it. I know about your schemes with your health care insurance, all of that. I know about all of that. But these the people that you good teachers are trusted. The biggest lie that's ever been told is that the devil did not exist. The devil is self-capital. And when he can't get what he wants, he's going to turn on you. Like I said, there are multiple EEOC claims of racism by the same man against black people. Yeah. What part of that I'm lying by, self? You're a sucker, man. And those of us that know it, we know you ain't worth the ground that you walk on. And you don't give a damn about no black school, self. When the last time you visited one? Since you care so much about these teachers, these hazardous conditions that they living in, where you got all these chemicals in these schools that's running rampant. And I plan on doing a show about all these toxic chemicals that the district knows about, and the union hasn't done anything, once again, to protect their teachers. But you care about them. The only thing you care about is continuously going to the administration and getting raises, which they deserve. But how many of you out there realistically know that every time you get a raise, your union dues go up? Let's do the math. Hold on. Calculator. Let's say they have 1,500,000 members. They got 1.7, so we're going to call it 1,500,000. Hold on. I want to do the math. So let's say you got 1 million members, right? And let's say you get a raise. And that raise is only, their percentage of that raise is 7 cents times 0.07. If I did that right. Oh. That's $700,000 they make. So they can afford to pay Randy Weingartner $416,000, pay Sepp over $100,000, pay Jackie White Anderson over $100,000. They just made a profit of $700,000. If they get 7 cents from each member on every raise, on the next raise that they get, $700,000. They living high on the hog while you working 2 and 3 jobs. So imagine if they got $1 on $1 million. That's $1 million. You tell me. Randy Weingartner makes more as the president of the American Federation of Teachers than the president of the United States makes per year. Randy Weingartner makes more than the governor of Texas. Randy Weingartner makes more than the mayor of Houston. But you can't seem to be represented when you need representation. They're poverty pimps. I know that's really messing with a few of y'all, because I'm hitting you. See, I like to play with numbers, and I like to dig off into people's business. Today was the education day in Austin, and I've not been down there this legislative season, but I'm coming. And according to what somebody told me, they go to the Capitol every year. And for the last 20 years, they have never seen anybody get a standing ovation in a committee meeting in the history of that place except for yours truly. So when I come, I'm gonna act a donkey. I'm coming with the proof. I'm coming with the proof. And I'm gonna tell the truth. These poverty pimps are winning. Let's do it a different way. There's a monthly consultation every month in the Houston Independent School District with teacher unions, period. But from a teacher union perspective, HFT has exclusive consultation. That means if you're in the Black Ladies Union, she doesn't have a voice. They can't sit in there. That means if you're in Michelle Williams's teacher union, they can't sit in there. So they get to make the decisions for all the unions. Why they do that shit at? See, if a board of managers comes in, that may have to stop. How do you, let me give it to you differently. How do I get the shot call on your life? If me and you run a company that do the same things, just because I do business one way may not be the way that you do business. So why do I get to be the only person that decides what's best for businesses that mirror mine? How did they pull that off? You know how they pulled it off. They poured tons of money into these school board candidates' campaigns. And now they're beholden to vote the way that they want them to vote. So they voted to make them exclusive in the monthly consultation, which makes no damn sense. They're supposed to screen candidates. In my last election, they had already chosen to endorse my opponent and then lied and said, well, we sent you an email for you to come to the screening. You're a goddamn lie. You ain't send me nothing. You know why you didn't send it? Because you can't control me. I'm going to do what's best for the children and for the teachers. But I ain't going to kiss your behind for no endorsement. I ain't going to kiss your behind for somebody to do robocalls or go out and block walk for me. I'm not going to do it. But this is what they do. They play games and they get out here and they act like they're working in the best interest of you, and they're not. They're poverty pimps. They care so much about words in high school. Y'all had a bus today to take 45 kids down to Austin for Legislative Day. Education Legislative Day. Why were they? Because you're in bed with Rodney Ellis and that's his alma mater. Instead of taking 45 kids, why you didn't take 45 teachers? You scared they were going to go left on you? You scared they were going to go left on you? See, everybody keep talking about the problem. What I don't feel is a problem. They keep talking about the problem, which is these people wanting to take over the school district. But nobody has yet to say, how do you fix these schools that are struggling? Since they care so much. A whole bunch of vendors that are affiliated with the AFL-CIO, they got contracts in the last school bond. Why you didn't create an apprenticeship program for our kids that could learn the construction trade? Let them go out there and work. And more importantly, the Miss Witt just said the thing. Instead of taking the Worthing kids, Why you didn't take the Wheatley kids? Because you playing a shell game. You playing a shell game. But see, they cater to the poor community because, see, we don't keep up with all of what they're doing. We don't understand. So they use buzzwords and phrases to suck you in and make you think that they're working for you. And the whole time they're working against you. The biggest lie ever told is that the devil did not exist. And a lot of times the devil is the one sitting right next to you. He's the one that's fighting for you the most. They're not fighting for you because they love you. They're fighting for you because they don't want to lose what they have. So if you were going to book a bus and you're talking about saving Phyllis Wheatley, then why did you take Worthing kids down there? Why not a bus full of Wheatley kids? See, you have to pay attention to the things that they say your enemy is doing because they seem to be very well versed in it. You know why they're versed in it? Because it's what they are doing. They saying this is a political move. Well, every move y'all making right now is political. Every move y'all making right now is political. You're not using your head. You say this is modern day Jim Crow. Well, if it is modern day Jim Crow, then why you using 1968 civil rights tactics to deal with it? You know why? Because it's called old money. It's a bunch of old folk with old money that don't want to give up their baton. They don't want to let it go. They stand in the middle of this. Let me tell you what I would never have done. Never have done. And I've said this before. People laugh. Some of them get offended, but I don't care. Martin. Imagine me sitting on the porch playing dominoes with my partners. It's 1962, 63. And I could just honestly hear it. Brother Monroe, we're going on a march to Selma next week. Need you to get on the bus. Negro, is you crazy? The last time y'all marched anywhere, everybody got their head bust open. But Brother Monroe, we all have to come together. I'm not going nowhere with you. You can't seem to protect us when we go somewhere. Well, you know, in order to achieve the dream, what dream? Your dream? I didn't ask you to dream for me, but I tell you what I do. That little dude down there with that fly suit on with them bean pies that nobody seemed to be messing with, him and his friends, that's dressed nice and, you know, with the fly hats. I march with them anywhere. Because everywhere they go, don't nobody put their hands on them. But everywhere you go, somebody get beat up or you get stabbed or whatever, you end up in jail. I don't want to go nowhere with you. I know that's how the conversation would have went. See, we messed up a long time ago. We started trusting people that were not genuine. I was just working on an assignment because I'm taking a history class. And I'm in about 1865 to 1890. So I'm studying the Reconstruction period. And I'm looking at the Southern Democrats who wanted to keep us enslaved. What was the Civil War about? Industrialism? Some people say it was. The Civil War was about the Southerners who didn't want us to be free. who wanted to keep us enslaved. And even after they lost the war, they created Jim Crow so that they could actually keep us bound. They created convict leasing. The Republicans were fighting them to let us go. Let them be free. Give them land. Let's make this an equal playing field. So when I look at the Houston Independent School District, who messed it up? Was it Republicans or Democrats? Because they keep running up on them Republicans right now. Who messed it up? You Democrats have had control of HISD forever. And now you got a problem because the Republicans have the power to take it from you. Well, you've never done right by the teachers. You've never done right by the kids. You've never done right by the poor communities or the poor schools. But the catalyst in all this is the Houston Federation of Teachers. Let's get this straight. I am not anti-union. I'm anti-bullshit, just like I said. And the Houston Federation of Teachers, as well as the American Federation of Teachers, does not give a damn about teachers. Not when I got to keep representing them. And then when I get one, you try to undermine me. Oh, you shouldn't use him. Why? I got attorneys. That's better than your attorneys. If you own your job, explain to me why Nick Ozuna, month 13 now, is still sitting out and they don't have nothing on him from Bel Air. How much of a war have you raged in his favor? Doesn't matter if he's right or wrong, which he's not wrong. He paid you money for you to get it done, clown. And you've left him hanging. You do it every single year, especially around this time of year when you're dealing with what they call RIFs, reduction in force, where they're finna get rid of all these teachers. Why don't you tell your superintendent this ain't the time to RIF nobody? You already ain't got enough teachers as it is. You talk about we shouldn't have 30 to 40 kids in a classroom, Sep, and I agree with you. But you also should have enough certified teachers in that school to where my classroom is not overloaded with a class that don't have a certified teacher. When are you going to battle that, Sep? Or are you only battling so they can get a raise so you can get more money? If you take my money, you going to do the job. If not, it's going to be some furniture moving. If not, it's going to be some furniture moving, partner. And that's what it boils down to. You're not making sure that these schools have what they need. I think Retha does a better job representing the custodians and the bus drivers and all these people than HFT does representing the actual teacher. Our teachers are not getting a fast shake across the board. And I don't give a damn who in charge, Republicans or Democrats. Did you ask the teacher their political affiliation before you took their money? Or are you only representing Democratic teachers? Because that's what it seems like. But even if you only represent Democratic teachers, you're only providing a service to maybe 27% of them. The other 73% are left pissing in the wind, fighting for themselves. And you're going to tell me, Sep Capo, that you're not a poverty pimp? I beg to differ. You are a poverty pimp. And you're a racist poverty pimp. If you have a problem as a teacher at this moment, you can call Monroe Consultation LLC. You can call me. I recommend that you find you another union, one that cares, one that wants to fight. I love Michelle Williams' union. I can't call it off the cuff right now, but She's on Facebook, Michelle Williams. You'll see her. She was on the show. But I know she goes to war for her union members. She was in HFT. She got the hell up out of there because they're not going to help anybody. They only want to help themselves. And how can you trust somebody that cares so much about public education that they would concoct a scheme with their friends from up north to take over our 11 schools and turn them into charter schools? I'm trying to understand that. Except now, if I've lied on you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, take it to civil court. I'd be glad to bust your ass. With everything that I've said, brother. And by the way, I don't throw my old phones away. I keep them. I'd be glad to split your ass open with them Texas, dude. Because you trash. I'm just telling you, homie. You trash and you're a joke. And you don't like black people. You don't. So I just wanted to come to you tonight and talk about these poverty pimps. Because that's what they are. They're a joke. Not tomorrow night, because I'm getting ready to call my man right now. Council member Eric Mays, unless he cancels, from Flint, Michigan, the most controversial politician in the country, will be on the Warzone tomorrow night with me. I love his spirit. I love everything he represents. He's not going to hold his tongue for anybody. And if you're not bold as a politician in 2023, you should not be a politician. For my teachers, God bless you for what you do. The impact that you make on kids on a daily basis is profound. Don't give up. Help is on the way. It ain't going to come from HFT or AFT, but help is on the way. In case y'all didn't know, this is the Warzone, and I'm the 5-star general. And one day I'm going to be a politician, but I will never, ever be a poverty pimp.